You ever log into your Kartra dashboard and think, I have no idea what I'm looking at? Well, in this video, I am going to walk you through exactly what you should be looking at inside of your dashboard, what you're aiming for, how often you should be keeping track, and where to find everything you need. So let's get started.
When you first log into Kartra, this is going to be what you see on your dashboard. In the first box for sales, you're going to see a 7-day snapshot of your sales, rebills, refunds, revenue, and net profit. If you have your affiliate program turned on and you click to the top affiliates tab, you'll be able to see your top performing affiliates for the last 7 days. In the next box, we'll see subscriptions. Here, I only focus on contacts, and this will tell you at a glance your total contacts, the amount of new contacts that have subscribed within the last 30 days, the same thing for the last 7 days, and for today. At a glance, this is going to show you how your list growth is performing. Next, we have your most recent 3 broadcasts. This is going to show your open rate, click rate, goals, and revenue. Your goals are either going to be opt-ins or purchases, and they're not 100% accurate, but they are interesting to see. And if they are sales, you'll see the revenue tracked back to that email here as well. And you can see it in number, or you can switch over to percent. And what we're just looking here is, are our open rates around what we expect? Is there anything out of the ordinary? Did the open rate or the click rate drop? Did an email perform higher than we're used to? These are the things we're looking for at a glance. If we scroll further down, you'll see traffic and conversions. Here, you're going to be able to see your 3 highest performing pages over the last 7 days with a graph that shows you your daily visitors and goals that can be tracked back to the page. So you can see here there was a contact form filled on this page or coming from that page view. You can also switch over to videos here, and this will show you the video plays of any videos that you have hosted in Kartra. And if you switch to forms here, this will show you your 3 highest performing forms for the last 7 days and how many opt-ins you've had from them. If you have your help desk up and running, here you'll be able to see new tickets from today, new tickets that are unread, and new chats today if you have the live chat going. If you use Kartra Calendar for your scheduling, you'll be able to see your upcoming calendar events here. And these are going to be the things that you're looking at on a daily basis or however often you log into Kartra. The next thing that I think is really important for you to keep an eye on is your contact list. When you go into your contacts and you take a look, it's interesting to note that your most recent contacts will be listed at the top. Your oldest contacts will be at the bottom. Now, even if your early contacts, so you can see that Purple Pie Man was the first contact added into this account. If Purple Pie Man was to make a purchase or opt into something new, his name does not get moved up to the top. He still stays in the order in which he was added to my contact list. Now, here's why I like to keep an eye in here on my contacts to see the most recent ones, because you can see here that this new contact that opted in through my early interest form, it has a red dot with an exclamation point and has been blacklisted. So we want to look at why, because this person, me testing of course, but this person opted in and we want to make sure that they get what they opted in for. So we can see that there's a typo in this email address. Not everything is going to be obvious to you, but this is one where we can definitely see it's a typo. So if I click on the contact's name and I go to email here, I can easily change the N to the M and click save. And now I'm going to hover over the red dot and click check again. And because that is a real email address now and it's spelled correctly, the contact turns to green, and that means that they are an active contact on my list. So that's something you can keep an eye on, and you can fix it if you see it and it's something that is fixable, like a typo. And if it's not, like Joanne here, then I would submit that email address to Kartra support to try and get that contact unblocked. Now, another thing that you want to keep an eye on with your contacts is you can see here that it looks as though with these two contacts here that I have been hit by a spam bot. This is what one type of spam bot looks like, where the first name is not a real name at all, but the email addresses are real. So you will want to address that. You'll want to delete these contacts. You'll want to make sure you put a CAPTCHA on your form. And I have videos teaching you how to do that. But this is something that you'll want to keep an eye out for and make sure you are on top of. The last thing that you want is that a spam bot hits and fills your list with stolen emails that report you as the spammer. When we're looking at our contacts here, it's important to note that this area here, the source, this is where the contact originated from. It is the first action they've taken. So you can see that this test lead here of myself, I opted in through the early interest form. You can see that this one, I opted in through a sales page step 1 form, and these contacts were added manually. This column does not update based on the most recent thing they did. It's always showing you their original source. Then you'll see their join date, the list they're subscribed to, and their sequences. In here, if you're looking for a specific contact, you can search, and you can use the little kebab menu over here on the right to filter, and there are a lot of options that you can filter for here when you're trying to look through or group or segment your contacts based on their actions. Also, what you can do in order to make sure that you're keeping up on your new contacts as your list grows is you can go down to your settings in the bottom left and click on email notifications, then click over to your team, and make sure that the notification for lead fills in an opt-in form is turned on. When this is turned on, you will get an email notification every time someone fills in one of your opt-in forms. The next thing that you're going to want to keep an eye on is your form conversion rate. So under contacts and forms, if we click on analytics, here at a glance, by default, it's going to show us the last 30 days. We'll be able to see how many visitors. This is how many people have seen our forms. So if the form is on a page, that's every page visitor. If the form is accessed by clicking a button, then it would be everyone who clicked the button to actually see the form. The subscriptions are the people who ended up filling out the form. Pending confirmation would be if you use double opt-in, which we don't. And then this opt-in ratio right here is the average over all of your forms. So what you're looking for here is really, I would recommend that you find your baseline and then compare to that, because what an average opt-in form conversion rate is, it's usually between 5 and 15%, but that can vary really greatly And so I think my best advice would be to establish what your baseline is and then try to improve from there. And what we're looking for is our opt-in page working? Are we getting enough opt-ins? Is it lower than usual? Is it higher than usual? Can I improve it by making changes to the pages? These are the things we're looking out for. So when you scroll down, you'll actually be able to see the numbers for each form. So we can see that for this wait list, its opt-in rate is 29%. Out of 58 visitors, 17 people have subscribed. And you'll be able to scroll through all of your forms here. You can also change the date range that you're looking at. So instead of the last 30 days, if you wanted to do this quarter or last quarter or this month or today or all time or even a specific date period, you can do so. And I like to keep an eye on this on a fairly regular basis so that I can make sure that my opt-in pages are doing their job and getting me regular signups. I can also look and see if something's not performing as well as I want it to. I can make changes to the page and then compare this past 30 days or this past 7 days to the next 7 days after I make those changes. The next thing that you're going to want to look at is your sales analytics. So if we click on sales and then payments, the first page that pops up is going to be transactions. And here is where you're going to be able to see your sales, your rebills, your cancellations, your cancellation requests. If you need to manage your orders, like taking a look at who purchased what, or canceling a subscription, or processing a refund, you can do so through this screen. If you have a continuity program or subscriptions, here is where you'll be able to manage your subscriptions. And in analytics here is where you'll be able to see this graph that's going to show you how many visitors to your sales pages that have the tracking code from your products on it, your sales and rebills, your refunds and cancellations, your revenue, your net profit, which is your revenue minus your refunds, and your customer lifetime value. If you have a continuity program or a membership, it will show you your active subscriptions and your average retention in that subscription. Scroll down underneath that, you'll see your products here, and you'll be able to click on the product bubbles, and you'll be able to see the visitors, sales, rebills, quantity, revenue, profit, and your conversion rate here. So as long as your tracking code from your product is on your sales page, Kartra will track for you the visitors to the page, the sales that you've made, and then the conversion rate right here. If you don't have that tracking code, this will not populate, but you can do your conversion rate yourself by dividing the amount of sales by the amount of visitors to the page. But it is nice to have that tracked for you here, and this is where you would look for that info. Next up, we have our email analytics. And this is where we'll be able to see, again, by default, the last 30 days, but you can change that to whatever you'd like. Here you're going to be able to see how many broadcasts you've sent in that time period, how many people have received those emails, your opens and your open rate right there, your click rate, and this is average over all of the broadcasts that you've sent in this time period, the goals that are tracked, and remember that this isn't 100% accurate, but it is interesting to see. When we come down to the table of your broadcasts, you're able to see in numbers or percentages, and here we're really looking at our open rate. Is it around our average? Same thing with our click rate. The goals would be sales or opt-ins. You're also going to be looking at your unsubscribes, bounces, and spam reports just to make sure that they're not There's no spike in these numbers. There's nothing that you need to look at to see what happened. Why did a lot of people unsubscribe, or were there a lot of bounces, or were there spam reports? You want to keep an eye on that. A good rough estimate would be that you want to have an open rate of 35% or higher. Anything below that, you want to be concerned and taking a look at. But you really do want to know what your average is as a baseline, and then you're going to compare to your own numbers. Also keeping in mind that when you email a smaller, warmer list of people, your open rates will generally be higher. When you're sending to a colder segment of your list, you might have a lot lower of an open rate. These are the things that you want to keep track of. But it's interesting to see that when I sent this email to the people who didn't open the previous reminder, there were very low open rates, but I did actually get a purchase from that email. So you'll want to be in here looking at your email analytics quite often. We'll also want to take a look at your sequence analytics. So when we go into sequences and then click on analytics, here on this screen, it's not really going to be as helpful as if we click into in detail over here in the right, and then select the sequence that you'd like to take a look at. So we'll do the early interest nurture sequence. Then here what we'll see is if we hover over the starting rule for this sequence, we can see that one lead has opted in within the last 30 days. If we hover over the email step, here we'll see that the lead who opted in, which was me with my typo email address, I didn't pass through and I'm not currently here. Because when I filled that out with the typo, my lead was automatically blocked, so I wasn't able to go through here. So what we can do is when we go back then to that contact that we fixed, take a look at the log here. You can see that when I was subscribed to the sequence, I didn't get any of the emails because of being blocklisted here. So what I can do is unsubscribe that contact and then resubscribe them so that they will get the email they wanted. And this is why it's a good idea to keep an eye on your dashboard and your contacts on a regular basis so that anything that possibly goes wrong for a new contact that opted in, a new client that purchased, you can be on top of it. So while we're here in this contact information section here, if we go to profile, we'll be able to see the fields that they've filled in. You can see their customer value over lifetime, their join date, their score. If you're using a lead score, you can see their source and any tags they have. You can even leave yourself notes for this contact. Then you can click through and see what lists they're subscribed to, what emails they've received, what sequences they're subscribed to, what memberships they have access to, if they've registered for webinars, filled out surveys, booked on your calendar. You'll be able to see their orders here, if they have any help desk tickets, and the log, which is super interesting, which is where we're able to see what has happened since the person became a contact on our list. Now we can see that I've been reactivated in that sequence and I'm in the send email step. So let's go ahead and go back to our sequences, analytics in detail. And now we're going to be able to see that one lead has passed through the, filled out the form in the past 30 days. If we hover over email step number 1, we can see that I've passed through here and received the email. Now that I've gone through again, I'm currently waiting in step number 2, which will this email will go out 7 days from now. So you'll be able to assess here if you're wondering where all of your contacts are inside of a sequence, how many people have opened, are people unsubscribing along the way. You can do so by hovering over each step on the canvas, or you can scroll beneath the canvas and you'll see a table here that will tell you the same information. What you're looking for in an email sequence is going to be, is your open rate fairly high for email number 1? Because email number 1 comes right after they opted in for something. They should be looking for that email and clicking on it. If it's too low, you want to check your email subject line. You want to make sure that your deliverability is good. We're hoping that we're reaching inboxes. So that's what we're looking for there. If you are delivering a PDF or something that they need to click on to access, you're going to be looking at the clicks and making sure that that is around what your average is, and you know what, that it's high enough. If it's super low, you may be wondering, go into your email and check how you have your call to action laid out. Do you have the link linked correctly? Are you making it obvious that they should click there? Those are the things that you're looking for there. As the email sequence progresses, you may find that your open rates lower a little bit, but we don't want to see a huge drop off. We want to make sure that the email open rate stays fairly consistent. If we see a big drop off, we want to take a look at what the subject line is of that email. We're also keeping an eye on our unsubscribes and spam reports. So that's what you're looking for inside of your sequence analytics. The other thing in your dashboard that you will want to keep an eye on is if in your memberships you have comments turned on, you'll see a red bubble next to memberships with the number inside of it, and that'll be the number of comments that are waiting for you to approve. And if you have your help desk set up, you'll also see a red bubble with a number showing you how many tickets or live chats are waiting for you to access. So these are the things that you're going to be looking at to measure the growth and health of your business. You're going to be looking at what your sales are, your list growth, your email open rates and clicks, your traffic, your conversions. Are your forms converting new visitors into new email contacts? Are your emails converting your contacts into clients? Your help desk, your bookings, things like that. Those are really the important things that you should be looking at when you log into your Kartra account. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.